Continuing with the independent work section of the lesson, Absolutely Universal, here we have the secondary source, 10 Kings and the Worlds They Ruled by Milton Meltzer and Beth Ann Anderson. Carefully read and annotate the secondary source, and also make note of the italicized background information at the top. Make sure to read through the glossary on the right-hand side, which has key terms and vocabulary words. Then, move on to the primary source image. Make sure to take note of the italicized background information on the left, and carefully analyze the image Portrait of Louis XIV from 1701 by Hyacinthe Rigaud in the middle. Then make sure to reference and use the annotation key. Then for your independent work, you can put it all together in the Annotation Organizer, noting the economic/social forces, political forces, and cultural/intellectual forces for both the secondary and primary sources for Louis XIV. Moving on in the lesson, we get to the check for understanding. Now add the greatest of all time game trading card for Louis XIV to the cards you've made for Akbar the Great and Peter the Great to complete the entire set. Choose the information that you would like to put on the back of the card. The information should be the characteristics that you learned from the sources and that you think best feature the ruler as an absolute ruler. Take time now to complete your Louis XIV Greatest of All Time game card on the right-hand side and complete that information in the blue space provided. Wrapping up, it is now time to use your analysis of the sources for each ruler, the 3 cards that summarize the characteristics that distinguish the absolute characteristics of each ruler, in order to write a paragraph of historical comparison. Here is the question that you are responding to. Can the term absolute ruler be used to describe all 3 of the rulers? And here is the bonus, a fun but required bonus question that you are responding to. Of the 3 rulers, Akbar the Great, Peter the Great, and Louis XIV, who do you think is the greatest of all time absolute ruler? Make an argument to justify your argument. Important note on this bonus question. All 3 of the rulers have records that include repressive and violent policies towards certain groups under their rule. If you think this disqualifies any/all of the rulers to be considered the greatest anything, this is a legitimate argument. If this is your perspective, respond to the question by explaining your position that there is no such thing as a greatest of all time absolute ruler. You have space provided on this wrap-up slide to answer the question, can the term absolute ruler be used to describe all 3 of the rulers? And the bonus question, of the 3 rulers, Akbar the Great, Peter the Great, and Louis XIV, or none of them, who do you think is the greatest of all time absolute ruler? Make sure to use an argument to justify your position. Thank you.